So here are 3 simple positions that you can copy from Roger Federer's serve to help improve your serve. Now, this video is courtesy of Essential Tennis, so thank you so much, Ian, for letting me use this video. I've put their link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to his awesome channel. Now, you're only going to know if you're doing these 3 things if you go out and film yourself, right? That's how you're going to know if you're doing this. Don't just guess or assume or ask someone and their opinion if you're doing it. Go out and film yourself and you'll find out. All right, the first thing is actually this position right here. Notice, doesn't it look like he's touching his forearm with his racket? I want you to film yourself from the side and see if you can close the gap here. Like a lot of players, they'll have their tossing arm over here and their racket head is over here. Not Fed, right? His racket's here and his tossing arm is touching, or it looks as if it is touching. It's actually not when you see it from the back view, but it looks as if it's touching. So film yourself from the side and get into this position. Doing this helps you do 2 things. 1, it helps keep your tossing hand up long enough. Too many players drop the tossing arm way too early and they lose this great shoulder tilt. You want the tossing shoulder higher than the hitting shoulder in this position. It just helps you to swing up, helps you put spin and speed. It's just going to give you a completely new feeling, especially if you're not someone who already does this. And getting into this position where you swear it looks like the racket is touching your tossing arm is actually going to help you also knock off the birthday hat. If your racket's over here and your tossing arm's over here, there's too big a gap between the two. So this one tip will completely change the way you serve for the better, and you will feel it the first time you do it. Now, the next 2 tips are coming right up, but don't forget, if you're looking for new people in your local area to play against, practice with, or even find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your serve, use my link in the description, playercourt.com/2minutetennis. And when you use my link, you get 50% off when you join. The second thing I want you to copy from Roger Federer's serve is what he does with his tossing arm. So there are 3 things you should do with your tossing arm. You should toss, you should drop your tossing arm out toward your opponent, and then you should tuck it back in toward your body. So let's see if he does that, right? Drops it out toward the target, and then he tucks it back in against his body. So Federer, you're doing it correctly. Good job. So a lot of recreational players drop the tossing arm straight into their body, and they lose this out part first and then in. Watch how he goes out and then back in against his body. When you drop out like this with your tossing arm, it helps you uncoil. And then when you pull it back in, it helps you slow your body's rotation. You don't want to be rotating your body as you hit the ball, because our goal is to actually have a reactive break, which accelerates the hitting arm. I want you to notice the Nike symbol or the Nike logo on his chest. I want you to notice what his Nike symbol does leading up to contact, and then what it does as he's contacting. Notice how it stops moving. Notice that his Nike symbol and the Nike on his chest is moving, and then see right there, it stops. His chest slows down. It's not spinning faster. It's actually spinning slower. That's what you want. You want your body, you can see the Nike on his chest is rotating, and then just before he hits the ball, it stops rotating. Why is that? Because he's trying to slow his body's rotation down. That is a reactive break that helps accelerate the racket. So the 3 things you want to do with your tossing arm are toss up, reach out, and pull in against your body. The last thing I want you to check is this incredible pronation. Before he hits the ball, right here, we can see through his strings. It looks as if he's going to hit the ball with the frame of the racket, but he's not. He's rotating, and right there, he rotates, and this is pronation. Now, a body motion tends to stay in motion. So when you're super loose and you're on edge, this is actually a supinated position right now. His strings are facing basically toward this fence right here. Now, as he goes up toward the ball, he's going to pronate, and that originates in the arm, not in the wrist and the hand. That's the whole arm. Now he's rotating, and look at his strings. So here his strings are facing away from the camera, and here his strings are facing toward the camera. I want you to check to see if that is what you're doing. Are you incorrectly pointing your strings up, prior to hitting, and then after contact, pointing your strings down. That's not going to lead to the most spin and the most speed. What you want is your racket to be what's called on edge at this point, where the strings are facing off to the side. And then after contact, your strings are facing to the other side. So there's 180-degree difference facing off, if you're right-handed, off to the left of you, which is Fed's fence right here. And then after contact, facing the camera. And you want to do this on your flat serves, on your slice serves, and on your kick serves. This pronation should be happening at all times on every single serve. So let's go over these again. You should make sure that when you film yourself from the side, it looks like your racket is touching your forearm. You want to make sure that you're doing three things with your tossing arm. You're reaching up, then dropping out towards your opponent, then pulling it in against your body as you're striking the ball. And last, make sure that you are pronating through contact, that you lead with the edge, feel like you're going to hit the ball with the edge of the racket, then turn the racket at the last second, and that turn continues through the follow through. You work on these three ideas. There is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.